Rest in peace, Poppy, Elijah, Reverend Elijah C. Smalls. I love you to the moon and back. My brothers love you to the moon and back. My mom loves you to the moon and back. Until we meet again, I love you. Please like me.
And if real is the issue, then they all artificial. And I can never diss you, but I will dismiss you straight to your face. Nah, I ain't got no manners, and these bros ain't got no standards. That's why he can't stand you. Always got your hand out for a handout. Can't stand on your own too. How you gonna stand out? I bet you missed the point. What a disappointment, like a missed appointment. Never indirect, but your intellect without introspect is so incorrect. Goddamn. Now that's disrespectful. But when you
What up, EDS Squad? It's your boy Eli coming to you with another Storytime video. But before I get into this story time, please hit that like button, comment down below. Any reviews, reactions, challenges, story times, whatever you want me to do, and I'll try my best in doing so. Don't forget to hit that share button so everybody know that EDS Squad is lit. And once you do that and you're not part of the squad, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you can get on all the notifications for this channel because I update every single day. And with that being said, let's get into this story time. Today I'm doing a story time. It's been 10 years since my father has passed away, and I thought it not like I'm doing a story time, not everything else. I definitely have to do a story time on my father. And you know, the perfect time to do so. This story time is going to just chronologize what I went through in my eyes, you know, before he had passed away, when he had passed away, and you know, what's going on in my life right now, dealing with his passing away. So let's start from the beginning. Mind you, it's been 10 years, so my mind is a little bit foggy with certain details. So, sorry, family, if some details I got wrong. It's not my fault. But I remember one day, it was around this week, the weekend, like, I don't even know. I remember my father falling down the stairs and having to go to the emergency room. I remember my mom, you know, telling us, you know, how Poppy fell down the stairs. She's on her way to the hospital. I think she either was with him when it happened, or she was on her way to meet him when it happened. I don't remember. Sorry. But yeah, so he was in the hospital. I believe they said it was a stroke. He had a mini stroke. A little, not really a, you know, my dad suffered from strokes. You know, the last stroke he had before, you know, this situation, he lost the ability to speak. You know, he could say words, he could say certain things like, you know, he could say our names and stuff like that. But, like, as for speaking in full sentences, he couldn't do that. So, you know, it was, and that in itself was hard, you know, dealing with that. But he was in the hospital. I remember we going every day to see him. You know, he was good. He was in good spirits and everything. I remember he started transitioning to he was getting really better. He started transitioning to doing physical therapy. But I remember one day, I don't know if I was there or my mom had told me, because you know, you go through these conversations so much, your mind gets blank. And it's been a minute. I don't know, but I remember my mom saying that my dad was, after physical therapy, he would just be so tired, and he would just be like tired. He would always say that he's tired. And my mom's thinking like he's physically tired. Mind you, my dad was 80, 80. I think he was 80, 81. Yes, my dad was 80, 81. He was way older than my mom. My mom was, at that time, she was in her 40s. That's a long story. That's a different story time. Whatever. But, yeah, he was saying that he was tired, and everything. But we just didn't know what he meant by being tired. We're thinking physically he's tired, but as you know, we play stuff back and you think of things and everything. He probably was saying that he was tired, like he's tired, like he's tired. He's lived a long life, tired. Um, but we would see him every day. But I remember one day, my cousin Shataya had a basketball game. It was March 14th. Um, my cousin Shataya had a basketball game, and my mom went. It was away. It was an away game, and she was like, Elijah, don't forget, go to the hospital, go see Poppy. That's what we call my dad, Poppy. Go see Poppy, and spend some time with him, one on one, da 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 da. And I was like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna go. I ended up never going. And my excuse was so stupid. I didn't feel like walking all the way to the hospital because from where he was at Benedictine in Kingston, New York, he was at Benedictine Hospital, and Benedictine was like, it wasn't like for me now because I'm a walker. It wasn't a far distance, but back then when I wasn't walking, I was lazy as heck. It was a long distance, and I didn't want to walk, so I ended up never going. So the next day, I get I don't even know how this went. Lord, please forgive me. I think I either got a phone call or something. I don't know. It was something. But that day was kind of weird in itself. Anyways, mind you, we had seen, before I even get into the day of March 15th, before the day before when I didn't see him, the last time I had seen him, he was good. He was talking. He was, himself. But, he was, giving me a pep talk, not even knowing that he was giving me, like, his final wishes. You don't think that. You think, oh, he's just telling you, because my dad was that type of person that always gave wisdom, always gave advice, wisdomly advice. He always, this, that, and the other. So I didn't think nothing of it. But he told me to take care of my brothers, to always look out for my mom. That, me being the oldest, he told me, make sure your brothers is alright, make sure your mom's alright, all that stuff. But, you don't think nothing of it because you're just like, oh, you're not thinking that this person is not going to be here the next couple of days. But, yeah. So, I believe I got the call to go to the hospital. And I remember me and my brothers, we all went to the hospital. And when we got there, everybody was there. My godmother was there, my aunts, just everybody was there. So that was kind of weird to me. And he was on a different floor. So, everything, it was so crazy how everything just did a 360 in a matter of days. Like, it's crazy. But I'm sorry. So we get to the hospital and we see everybody there. And I remember walking into the hospital room and he was just never wanted to see my dad like that. Um, he had tubes. He had a breathing machine, and I remember Minister Clark being there, my hometown church. You know, she was the minister, pastor's wife also. I remember she being there, and she like, come Elijah, come, come boys. She hugged us or whatever, and I couldn't believe, like, I was in shock. I couldn't believe it. I was just like, I think at that moment, that's when I became a mute. I became stone. I became hard. I became stoic in that moment. Because, of course, I didn't think, he was going to pass away, but I just thought, like, it's getting worse. It's getting worse. And, I don't know what happened in those hours between the last time I seen him and, me seeing him at that moment. But, yeah, it was hard. I didn't stay for a long time because I just felt uncomfortable. I just felt uncomfortable. My head was just in 1,000 different directions. I just was so I was just all over the place emotionally, and I had to go. So I left. I went home, and I prayed, and I was just like, God, please, please let my father live. Please, let him be okay. I need my father, I'm only, mind you, I was 15, turning 16 later that year, but it's like I need him. Like, who's gonna show me how to be a man? Who's gonna tell me, who's gonna be there when I get my first date, when I get my, have my first kid or get married, all that good stuff. Like, I was just all over the place. So I remember my mom, she stayed at the hospital, and she was not coming home. We ended up, my brothers, I don't remember where they ended up, but I remember I ended up at my aunt Diane's, aka Nisi, we call her Nisi. I was at her. I stayed over with my cousins Valia and Malisha, and honestly, I think Malisha and Bia and my aunt, God rest her soul, also to this day, because they kept my mind off of the situation. Because when you're thinking about something as serious as this, you get emotionally tired, you get emotionally drained, you get depressed, you get sad and all that stuff. But they made sure to keep my spirits up and all that good stuff. So from the bottom of my heart, you guys, I thank you. Later that night, I remember my aunt got a call from my mom. And I was hearing it because I was being I wasn't being nosy, but I overheard it, and I just remember, like, this isn't good. This isn't good. This isn't good. This isn't good. When I found out that he passed away, for a second I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything. I didn't say anything. I didn't move. I was just stuck. I didn't cry. Then I just got regret just came flooding into me, like, a wave. I just regretted not going to see him a couple days prior. I just regretted. It was just like I hated myself. I'm not gonna lie. I hated myself. I hated that I was lazy. I was lazy. Point blank period. I was lazy. I hated myself for that. I remember I left and I went back to my house. And I just went downstairs. We had a basement. I went downstairs in the basement, and then the basement, my mom had her office. I remember I went in her office and I just prayed. I was just like, yo, Lord, I don't know what this means. I don't know what you're trying to tell us in this situation, but like, I'm hurt. I hate myself for this. I wish it was me. It was that bad. It was bad. I remember everybody just coming, they're saying their condolences, and I was just so. People just thought for me that I was supposed to just be a weeping, crying mess, but I was just the opposite, and I was surprised in myself because I'm very emotional. But in that situation, I was just so hard and so stoic, and it's not like I didn't believe that the situation occurred because I knew that my father had passed away. It was just like, I don't know. I was just so stoic. And, people would say their condolences. People was bringing over food, all of that jazz. And I remember the wake and the funeral. There were beautiful, beautiful services. I remember my aunts, they did a liturgical dance at the wake. It was beautiful. The funeral. Like, I was so stoic. Like, I was so, like, stone cold that I didn't have no emotional feelings. Like, I was video recording the actual funeral. Like, I was in the funeral with a camera recording the services. Like, that's how stoic and, like, cold I was to the situation. I was just numb. I didn't feel anything. The service was beautiful. My mom got one of my dad, he's from White Plains, got the pastor, the church that he went to, got the pastor to preach. It was just a beautiful service all around. We got one of the old piano players at my hometown church. He came and played, the choir sung. It was a beautiful service. It was beautiful. But I was just so stone cold. I couldn't feel no I wasn't emotionally in the service. I wasn't emotionally there. It took months. Like, people was like, I even think my mom thought I was like nuts. Like, something was wrong with me. Like, because I just didn't feel no emotion. Like, my mom tried to keep us out of school for a certain amount of time. I was ready to go back to school, I went to school. My mom talked to all the guidance counselors. The guidance counselors came to me, tried to, say, Elijah, if you need anything. Oh, I'm good. I'm Gucci. Like, I went back to business as usual. And everybody around me was like, Elijah, are you crazy? Like, your father passed away. Like, that's a big person in your life. But I was just so stoic and, like, I just wasn't there. I was just, like, I felt like, if you guys ever watched Twilight, the Twilight movies, when they turn their humanity off. No, that's Twilight. No, that's, the Vampire Diaries. They turn their humanity off. Like, that was me. Like, I turned my humanity off. Like, I didn't have no feelings. Like, I just went back to business as usual, went back to school, this and the other. But I remember one day, I don't even know how many months later it was, I don't know. But I just remember one day, my mom, we had collages for the funeral, collages of pictures of, memories of our father and all that stuff. I remember I was in the living room and I was just looking at the pictures and and then a wave of sadness just came over me and I just lost it. Mind you, nobody's home. My brother's not home. My mom's not home. I'm by myself. I just lost it. I started crying. Tears were just running down my face. I was just screaming like, why him? Why my father? Why? Just crying like hysterically. And it was just all of that pent up emotion, all that just putting it down, putting the sadness down, putting the hurt down, putting the anger down, and it just went up and it came out like a volcano. And whew, Lord, I just cried. Um, some days it's hard for me to, talk about my dad. Like, I can talk about my dad all day, all the fun times, all the good memories and all that stuff. But sometimes, you have those days where, certain things happen in your life and you just wish, the person that, went on to glory, you just wish that they can come back and give you advice or come back and, lead you in the right direction. Me and my dad, we had a close relationship. I was a daddy's boy, I was a mama's boy. I claimed to both of my parents, both of my parents, because, I just love my family. And some days I do go out to the graveyard, to his tombstone, because it's a bench. Maybe one day I'll do a vlog and I'll show you guys that. And I just sit down and I talk to him and tell him, how I'm doing in life and all that stuff. One regret that I, still hold to this day is I didn't tell him that I was gay. Some days I just wonder, would he have accepted me? Would he have looked at me different? Would he have still loved me? Even though I think I know he still would have. You just wonder those things, It just hurts that he will never get to be physically there when I eventually get married or when I have kids or, that sort of thing. But I would definitely let my kids know. My kids will definitely know about the amazing man that I come from. My dad was an amazing person. He was so humble. He was so meek. He was just a great father. He loved his kids, every last one of them. He loved them with all of his heart. He loved it, my mom, with all of her heart. With all of his heart, excuse me. With all of his heart, he loved my mom. We had our ups and our downs. Nobody was perfect in any situation, but at the end of the day, we all loved and respected each other. Poppy, I love you. I miss you like crazy. And I know you're with me. I know you're right next to me. I know you're beside me, walking this journey of life with me. Sometimes I wish I can see your face and hear your laugh and hear you call me Junior but one thing I love is that we have precious memories that I can cherish for a lifetime. I miss your cooking because you used to cook like crazy. He used to throw down. When I tell you guys, he used to throw down. My dad used to throw down in the kitchen. I just want to do a little light thing because I want to make it all, heavy. But he used to throw down that cornbread, that fried chicken every Sunday. Some fried chicken Sunday. I'm telling y'all, that food used to be on point. Oh, Lord, I miss your cooking. I miss it, y'all. But, yeah, so that's my story time on my father. Rest in peace, Poppy, Reverend Elijah C. Smalls. I love you to the moon and back. My brothers love you to the moon and back. My mom loves you to the moon and back. Until we meet again, I love you. Please like this video, comment, share, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. EDS Squad, I lift you guys all. I love you guys all. And please keep me and my family in prayer. Today has been a hard day. And then, we still thank God for the memories, and we thank God for keeping us, sane and all of that good stuff and healthy and all of that. But I love you guys, I live for you guys, and I'll check you guys on the next one. Peace.